Hello, everyone. Welcome to this session. We're so excited you're here. As you come on in, please type your name and your organization and where you're calling in from into the chat. We're really happy you're here. We'll get started in just a few minutes. We're letting people join. We have Richmond and Boston. Keep filling out the chat. Welcome. We'll get started in just another couple of minutes. And you get to hear from some of the past fellows here in these slides that have been part of this program. We've had such amazing people, and we look forward to seeing some of you. Keep introducing yourself. Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, Arizona. Nice to see you all here. Philadelphia. Excellent. Keep putting your name, where you're calling in from, kind of where you work and what you're doing into the chat so we get a sense of who you all are. And you'll have a chance to ask questions and talk more as we go through this. But welcome, welcome. The Biodiversity Institute, welcome. Okay, we'll get started in 30 seconds. Welcome, everybody. Nice to see all of you. Alabama, Pittsburgh, Madison, Florida. And I think we'll have some of our fellows joining from past cohorts that will be here as well. So hello, everybody. We're going to get started because we know your time is valuable. I'm Judy Browse. I'm the Executive Director of the North American Association for Environmental Education. And we really are thrilled that you are here to find out more about the CEE-Change Fellowship. And I'll tell you more about what CEE-Change stands for, but you probably know that if you looked at it. But we're really happy you're here because this is a really wonderful opportunity to build your network, work with others, and learn more and do more. So the CEE-Change Fellowship is all about building leadership and civic engagement and environmental education. And it's supported by EE360 and the Cedar Tree Foundation. Couldn't have two better partners. Really excited about what we can do together in this new cohort. For those of you who might not use Zoom, you can click on the closed captioning if you need to see captions. Please use the chat for questions, and we are recording this for those who couldn't attend. So don't worry about trying to capture everything, and you'll get a copy of all of this as well. And I'm really great. It's really great to be here with my colleagues. So Sarah Bodor, who is our Senior Director of Capacity Building. You'll hear from Sarah in a minute. You'll hear from Nina, the Director of International and Leadership Programs. And we also have Madeline on, who is our International Program Specialist, and Preeti, our EE Grant and Program Manager. So thanks to all of you for joining and for all you do. And just to get started here, our agenda is I'm going to do a very quick overview of NAAEE and EE360 and what that is. And then Nina's going to talk about the CEE-Change Fellowship, the benefits, the eligibility requirements, the application overview, make this as easy as possible for all of you to join. And then this is a meeting, so you'll be able to just unmute and be able to ask your questions, or you can also type them into the chat. So great to see you all here. So for those of you who don't know NAAEE, we like to say we're the professional association for the field, the champion, a backbone organization, because we try to support the educators that are doing the work, like so many of you around the United States, Canada, Mexico, and around the world. And it's all about advancing environmental education. And so our mission really is thinking about how do we advance this work? How do we advance environmental literacy and civic engagement to create a better world, a more just and sustainable future? And we work with so many partners around the world that are making a difference in their communities at all levels. And we work with formal and non-formal educators. We work with business, with universities, with government, with foundations, and it allows us to share effective practice, learn from each other, and support the field to create this better world. And we are committed to environmental education for everyone, including those who are working in vulnerable communities, those who do not have access to high quality environmental education, those are in communities who are most impacted by the impacts of climate change and other environmental threats. And that is a really important part of what we do and who we are. We also like to say that we are a network of networks because we do work with a lot of different networks to advance this work, like our affiliate organizations. And I'll just say a few words about that, but you can look up all the other networks on our website. But our affiliates, we have 52 state, regional, and provincial affiliates across North America that are doing the work of NAAEE, but at the state or regional or provincial level, and we all try to point in the same direction to create change. And this is just a sample of our affiliates. And they are their own 501c3 organizations. If you don't know about the affiliate in your state, please check them out, or in your region, because we're all trying to do this good and important work, especially at this time. And we believe that supporting leadership is really one of the most important things that we can do, especially at this moment in time. And so we're thrilled that all of you are on to find out more about this leadership program. And as I mentioned before, the CEE-Change Fellowship started when we started working with our civic engagement colleagues, and we know there's a whole field in social studies and civic engagement, civic action, and environmental education. And sometimes we didn't work together as well as we could and should. And so this fellowship has been all about bringing these fields together to do more together and learn from each other and build on the good work that is happening out there. Just a little bit about EE360 Plus. This is a 5-year cooperative agreement with US EPA, which is all about building a stronger and more inclusive network and field. It's a consortium of more than 20 training and dissemination partner organizations and working, across North America to do really great work. And the vision of EE360 Plus is trying to create an environmentally literate and engaged public and trying to build more resilient communities that can tackle these tough challenges that we're facing to create a healthier and more equitable and sustainable future. And the mission is really about training and strengthening the field. We're training professionals to deliver high quality environmental education and build the foundation and infrastructure of the field to be able to do this work better, more efficiently, and learning from each other. So as I mentioned, we're trying to bring environmental education, civic engagement together, and figuring out what that looks like to then do that work in our communities, with our constituents to create a better world. So when you think about environmental education, we're thinking about building awareness and knowledge and skills, attitudes, the action, the participation piece, looking at the science. And when we think about civic engagement, we're thinking about active citizenship. How does our government work? I know we're all learning that right now. A lot more, practicing democracy, building the skills that we need to be active in civic life. And again, the action and participation, and thinking about the overlap between the social sciences, the biological sciences, and how all that works to build stronger communities. And so the CEE-Change Fellows brings this all together, and it's all about building leadership. It's about professional learning and development, and we'll tell you more about that. It's about peer-to-peer mentoring and networking. It's actually looking at what are leadership skills and what does that look like, and what skills can you develop and learn and get better at. And it's about doing a community action project that builds on the skills and the information that you are learning. So the last thing I'll say before I turn it over to Nina is this is such important work to learn from each other, 30 fellows doing work together to create change, building on each other, building your own professional networks and constituents. You will make friends and colleagues for a lifetime. I guarantee that. So it's a really wonderful program, and we look forward to seeing many of your applications for this fellowship. And I'm going to turn it over to Nina, who's going to talk about the benefits of this fellowship. But we're really thrilled you all are here.
All right. Thanks so much, Judy. And I'm going to, there we go, share my screen here. There we go. All right. Well, great to virtually meet all of you. As Judy mentioned earlier, my name is Nina Hamilton. I'm our Director of Leadership Programs at NAAE. I'm so excited to have all of you joining us and excited to see so much interest in this fellowship. And as Judy mentioned, we will be recording this. We are recording this and we will be sharing the recording as well as any important links that we mention. We'll share some in the chat, but we'll also share those out over email as well. So now diving right into the fellowship, I'm going to highlight some of the key benefits to becoming a fellow. A lot of this is mentioned in our in the request for proposals that you can find on our website, but we wanted to highlight a few. So first of all, network building is really one of the greatest benefits that we see in as a result of the fellowship and in our CEE-Change fellows. You'll have opportunities to network and connect not only within your cohort, but also with leaders across our network through our conference, through other opportunities, through the fellowship. And these benefits really stretch beyond the fellowship period, as our past fellow Justin has said in this quote here. We also offer many, many professional development trainings and opportunities throughout the fellowship. All fellows come together for a leadership institute at the start of the fellowship. And that's where you'll connect with the others in your cohort. You'll dive into some key topics, the leadership skills, like Judy mentioned, other key skills that you will be building on throughout the fellowship and throughout your community action project. We also host monthly check-ins and trainings, just monthly touch points for you all to continue learning together, to stay connected. And all fellows will also receive a scholarship to attend our virtual conference happening later this year. And with that comes a whole host of other professional learning and networking opportunities. And here's just a snapshot of our last cohort's Leadership Institute. It's really a lot more than building leadership skills and trainings. It's about spending time together, learning about each other's works, learning about what you will be working on, and also benefiting from the various expertises that you'll find within the cohort. And so this experience that you kick off the fellowship at this Leadership Institute, and the goal is that it will really set you up for success professionally, but also for throughout the fellowship, but also beyond, and to help you with your community action projects as well. So here are just a few examples of the topics that we've covered through the Leadership Institute and our monthly check-ins as well. We tailor the trainings to each cohort. So the specific trainings and program varies cohort to cohort. We conduct a needs assessment with the fellows each year. So we do listen to what your specific professional development needs are. And as you've hopefully seen, all fellows are asked to implement a community action project, as I've alluded to, over the course of the fellowship. And so all fellows can apply for mini grants to support their projects. On average, these grants tend to be between 2,000 and up to 4,000 or 5,000 for collaborative projects. So that is one way that we encourage collaboration among fellows, is you will have the opportunity to request funding for a collaborative element of your projects working with other fellows. We also provide ongoing support and technical assistance as you're implementing your project, as you're navigating changes, as you're having to adapt. And you will also have a whole cohort of folks who I'm sure will be eager to help you troubleshoot as well. We've seen this in past cohorts where you can find actually a lot of peer support and technical assistance as well from even within your cohort. And finally, you'll receive both individual and organizational recognition through our website, through social media. There will be opportunities to submit to post a blog on the NAA website. So recognition is an important benefit of this as well. Some important eligibility items, and these are all outlined in our request for proposals. So we are looking for fellows who have at least 5 years of experience across these different areas. You will need a partner organization that you've identified for your project. So oftentimes, this partner organization is a fellow's employer, but it can be any partner organization and the idea is that this partner will work with you on your project. That could be giving financial support, but it doesn't have to be that they are going to help fund it. It can be just a partner organization who will help you in the implementation of your project. And so with that, you'll also be proposing a community action project. Please be sure to read very carefully our request for proposals that outlines in detail all of the elements that we're looking for. I'm also going to talk a little bit in depth about community action projects in a second because we get quite a few questions about this. And then you'll also be asked to upload 2 letters of recommendation, one from your partner organization that you've identified above, and a professional reference. So again, for this, read through our guidance of what these letters should include and what you should be requesting from your partner organization and your professional reference. And as a fellow, a few expectations and requirements that we ask of our fellows. You'll be asked to actively participate in the cohort, in the whole cohort experience throughout the 12-month fellowship. There will be an option to extend an additional 6 months. You'll see in the application form a question of whether you might be interested in that. I will also say in the application, if you say that you are interested in the extension, that is not a commitment. We are just starting to gauge interest in whether, in how many fellows might be interested in taking that extension. So if you're even remotely interested in that option, I recommend hitting yes for that question. So as part of this active participation, this includes the in-person Leadership Institute at the beginning of the fellowship in August, attending our virtual conference, and also doing your very best to attend all of our monthly check-ins, or as many as you possibly can. I see a question here about the extension. That's a great question. So the extension, um,
Uh-oh, I think Nina froze. And
18
so,
months.
Nina, you froze for a minute.
The main benefits of doing the extension is that we add on an additional 6 months of professional development of the monthly check-ins. So you're able to stay connected with the cohort, with the fellowship experience for that extra 6 months. It might also be beneficial if you just need additional time to wrap up your community action project. We will ask for you to complete as much as you can within the 12 months, but that 6 months gives you extra time of working on that while also being together with the cohort. And Judy, did you have something to add on to that?
Yes. I was mostly jumping in because you froze for a minute, but it was
Oh,
the fact that we are also looking for additional funding, that if you do the extension, we will try to bring you all to the NAAE conference in 2026. And that's another time to gather as a full cohort if we can do that. So we're hoping to do that by adding that extension. You have more time, more professional development, and the possibility of coming together again.
yeah. Yep. Great addition there. All right. So you'll as a fellow, you'll be asked to design and implement your community action project. We do ask that you aim to reach at least 100 people through your project. It can be much more than that, but we ask that you aim for at least 100 people. This can include students, adults, any community members. So we'll share a couple examples of projects and you'll see the wide variety. And then we'll also ask you to submit midterm and final reports and complete a community action plan and fundraising strategy as part of the fellowship as well. All right. And so here's a little bit of information about the application, the online application. So you will apply through our online application system called Submittable. From our program webpage that's linked here, and my colleague Madeline can put that in the chat as well. You can access the application link, our request for proposals, and other applicant resources as well. And so we could spend hours talking about the application. We wanted to dive a little bit into the community action project component of this because we do get quite a few questions on this. And we do want to help set you up for success for this part of it. So the request for proposals, and if she hasn't already, I think my colleague Madeline will also put in a link to the request for proposals here. The request for proposals, as well as the online application form, they both outline all of the elements that we're looking for when we're reviewing your whole application, but also your project proposal in particular. So your projects must incorporate both environmental education and and civic engagement in some manner. You must have identified a community need that your project is addressing. Your project must somehow be helping to strengthen community resilience to address environmental concerns. We're looking for you to reach at least 100 people. And please be sure to clearly articulate your project's goals, activities, and audience, and make sure that all of those align. You can submit a new or existing project, an existing or ongoing project. If it is an existing or ongoing project or something that's part of a bigger project, perhaps, we'll be looking for some kind of twist or innovation or expansion that you've added onto that project for your fellowship experience. So it's okay if it's building on something that's existing, but we will be looking for you to have and to be clear in your proposal about what is that extra or that new twist or innovation or expansion. And I also want to say, we know that it's very normal to have to adapt projects, while during implementation, things change. And so for your application, please just include as much detail as you can of what you know for now, what you would expect your project to look like. And if you're selected as a fellow and if you would need to make any changes to your project, we will work with you. This happens. We work with fellows who are having to make any changes. As I mentioned earlier, your partner organization does not have to be your employer. If you have any questions about the partner organization piece of it, please feel free to reach out via email and we're happy to help. You will have some support available in terms of mini grants as well as that 6-month extension. And just saying again, a lot of fellows find opportunities to collaborate throughout the fellowship with their projects. So you don't need to incorporate this in your proposal, but keep this in mind that there may be opportunities for you to build on what you've proposed by collaborating with other fellows. I just gonna check the chat here. Okay, Teresa. Oh, okay, Judy has got it. Chris, can the project be multi-phase, like different individual activities? Yes, that is completely fine. And we'll outline, as much as you can in the proposal section of the application. So here are just a few examples of projects from the previous cohort of fellows. On our website, if you navigate to the 2023 and 2021 fellows pages, and we'll share those links out with the recording, you'll find in their bios, you'll find all of their project descriptions, and there's also a link to our CEE-Change blog series where you can read more about their different projects. So this is a great way to see a lot of different examples and to see really the breadth of projects, of the issues they're addressing. You'll see they're working with students, community members, teachers, stakeholders of all kinds. So really, we want you to be identifying a community need and having your project help address that. And all of these projects, the common thread is that they're incorporating environmental education and civic and community engagement. So here's another example. Catherine Price, who was a fellow last year, she works with the Cumberland River Compact, and her project was engaging Nashville stakeholders of all ages, really, in activities that were around helping to identify nature-based solutions to help address needs in their communities. And in this quote, she reflected on how the fellowship impacted not just her project and her work, but also, you know, herself as an individual. All right, so because we don't have time to go through every single element of the application, I did want to just share a couple overall do's and don'ts and just general advice. So do include as much detail as you can, as many examples. In the application, we ask about your experience, who you are as an educator, as a professional, as a leader. And so we encourage you to use the word count as a guide. That space is there for you to share with us about yourself, about who you are, and about the impact that you're having out in the world and out in your community. So we encourage you to include as much detail and as many examples as you can in that. I also encourage you, this may be common sense, but I encourage you to start early to develop your project idea. It's really great to have you here on the webinar, but oftentimes developing these project ideas and proposals, it takes time. It takes time to engage in a partner organization. It can take time to identify a professional reference and give them enough time. So all of those elements of the application, your partner letter, your professional reference letter, all of those are due by we've got it on here but near the end of April 23rd, I believe. So all of those are due together. So make sure to give yourself enough time to plan that out. A couple don'ts. Please do not skip over the instructions that we've listed in the request for proposals and the application. As I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of important details in there. We tried to cover the most important items here, but please be sure to read through that in detail and make sure that you're aligning your application with those elements that are listed in there. I also want to say, do not simply list past awards and recognitions. If you've been recognized by other organizations in the past, that is amazing. And please feel free to include those in your application. But we want to learn about you. We want to hear about maybe what led you to be recognized by those other organizations or awards. So it is amazing if you've got that recognition, but be sure to focus on your story and your impact and what you're proposing to do during the fellowship. So really the overall piece of advice here is to tell your story. We're looking for fellows who will actively contribute to the cohort experience, to the whole fellowship experience, who will share their perspective and provide support to the cohort as well. So we want to know who you are as an educator, a leader, a community member, and we encourage you to really reflect on what you would personally gain and also gain from and contribute to the fellowship. And there are questions about that in the application as well. All right, so before I move on, Actually, we're just about done. So I'm gonna do these last few slides and then I'll go through the chat and make sure I haven't missed anything. So just wanted to highlight again some of these applicant resources that we have for you all. All of these are available through the CEE-Change homepage. And Madeline has shared the link in the chat there as well. So from this page, you can find our request for proposals. You can find the application link. We have a toolkit there to help you spread the word as well if you want to share this opportunity with your networks. And we also have frequently asked questions in there as well. So that is another useful resource. And a little bit further down the page, you'll find this little rectangle where you can access pages for our previous classes. So the 2023 fellows and 2021 fellows, that's where you can go in and read their biographies with their project descriptions, as well as their blogs that go into details about their projects and their overall fellowship experience. And so again, a reminder, applications are due April 23rd by midnight US Eastern time. Everything is available on the program website. And we also encourage you to sign up for EE Pro. This is our free platform for opportunities and resources related to environmental education. So there you can learn about other opportunities, not just from NAA, but from across our network. And again, it's free and very easy to sign up. And so with that, I'm going to look back. Judy, did you have anything to add while I'm
No,
seeing if
this
I
all
missed anything
sounds
here?
good. And I think I'm trying to look back at the question about the references, about whether the professional reference letter can be from a partner organization. And I was just about to say yes, but if you want to say more about the reference letter, you could. That was from Heidi.
Yes. Let me pull up the application here really quickly. So yes, okay, can the professional reference letter also be from the partner organization? Yes, that would be fine. I would encourage you to if you can, maybe identify a second person that second letter can come from, just so that we're getting two different perspectives on who you are as a leader, as an educator. The partner organization letter should be really about the project and how the partner organization will be supporting you in implementing your project. And the professional reference is much more about you as a leader and getting that second perspective on who you are.
And
If
Nina,
that
I also got one other question
Mhm.
that was privately, but I think I should answer it for everyone. We do have committed funding for this fellowship, so it is not dependent on government funding at this moment. But we also have some opportunity. The only thing that would change is that we might have additional funding for small grants and bringing everybody together in 2026. So we are actively looking for some additional funding, but we do have core funding available from Cedar Tree for this fellowship. And we also have had some funding from US EPA. We just can't be sure that that will last into 2025 to 2026. But don't worry, we have core funding. I know it's a really, really difficult time, and we will talk about that during the fellowship.
Mm. Oh, we've got another question here. Teresa, is it okay if our project is being done through our work, but also engaging a second partner organization? Yes, that is completely fine. We know the reality is a lot of time there's a lot of partners involved in putting on an effective project. So that is up to you. You know, which partner you'd like the letter to come from. But please feel free to outline any and all partners that would be involved in your project. All right, Cameron, so kind of building off of that, if we engage two partner organizations, can we submit two letters of recommendation? That is a great question. I I believe we're only allowing one. I believe the application only allows one upload in that section. So but please feel free to again mention any other partners and their involvement in the proposal section. I'm gonna stop sharing here. Great questions. Anything else? And Judy, did you want to say anything about um
I
like
think
Patty's
I
project?
think No, I was just going to say, I think we answered most of the questions, but just remember that we are looking for formal and non-formal educators. If you're a classroom teacher, absolutely great. Work at a university, work for an NGO, community-based organization. We love the mix of ages. It's intergenerational, and we love the mix of sectors, and we're all going to learn from each other. So if you're more slanted toward the civic engagement field or the environmental ed field, or you want to know more about both of them, all that is fantastic. We really want to, have a really good mix in this cohort. And of course, we want to make sure you're all really nice and wonderful people. No, it's all good.
Sorry, I don't know what happened there.
I think you disappeared. I was just going to look.
I think
And
my
then
internet cut out for a
I
second
just want
there.
to say one thing. Nina is amazing as helping to manage this program, along with Sarah, who I don't think could join. And Preeti, if you want to come off screen, if you're on, just to say hello. Preeti helps manage EE360 Plus. If you have any questions about that, and she helps with so many other things as our grant and program manager. And Madeline, where's Madeline, who's been putting so many things in the chat. Madeline is fantastic as well and working on all our international programs and helping with the fellowship as well. So it's a great team, a plus others, strong operational team. So you'll be well supported, and we really look forward to all of you. So Preeti, anything you want to add?
I just wanted to say the CEE-Change Fellows have always been an inspiring group of people, and I know you would have an amazing experience there. Look at the blogs from previous CEE-Change Fellows, which are on our website. That'll give you an idea of what kinds of work they've done through their community action projects, as well as their experiences, if you want more of a flavor of what this is about. And I think you have a question, Nina. Oh, which you answered already.
And
We
by the
did-
way, this year's conference, I can't remember, Nina, if you mentioned that it's virtual. We're having a virtual conference every other year. We do that to save on CO2 and make the conference more accessible. And the conference in 2026 will be in October in Portland, Oregon. Oregon. Or it'll be great.
Okay. I do see another question here from Cameron. Is there priority given to action projects occurring with a partner that you already have a working relationship with, or can the partner be a new partner that you're collaborating with for the first time on this project? I would say I think we have examples from past fellows of both. I think what's most important, if you think that is the right partner for this project. I don't know if I froze again. My internet is going in and out. Am I here?
We can hear you now.
Okay, great. I think what's most important is that the partner organization is aligned well with the project. So even if that's a new partner, if you take the time in the letter they describe and in your proposal you describe how you're building a relationship with that partner and how they are the best fit for this project, that would be just as strong as maybe a partner that you have worked with. But focus on that alignment with the project and the value and the role that the partner is bringing. If that helps. All right. Lots of great questions. Anything else? With that, I think we can probably.
Nina, one other question
Mhm.
that Teresa just asked, and I don't want to volunteer you and Madeline and Preeti, but offering feedback before submission, we do help as much as we can. And we really want to make sure that you're all comfortable with the application you send in. But Nina, do you want to say a few more words about that and how to contact you, Madeline, Preeti?
Yeah, so I shared our email in response to another question in here. So I'm going to put our CEE-Change email in here. So definitely feel free to reach out to us with any questions. The more time that you give us before the applications are due, you know, the more guidance we can give you. We also may have a few past fellows and recent fellows who may be willing to provide feedback as well. So if you reach out to us, we can help you to connect with them. Yeah, we do have at least one that has offered to help out. So we're happy to connect you with them. Another application process question. Can you save and finish later? Yes. So when you log into Submittable, you will be asked to create an account. And after you create the account and you go in and start the application process, I don't remember if it automatically saves, but you can save and go back to it later. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess a few final words from me. I just want to thank you all again for joining. It's really so exciting to see all of the interest in this opportunity, and working with the CEE-Change Fellows is really a big highlight for us. It's such an amazing program, but it brings together amazing people like all of you, and you know, it helps to support the work that you all are doing in your communities. So thank you again, and thank you for all the time and effort that you put into this, and we're really looking forward to receiving your submissions. Judy, anything from you?
The only thing I'd say to all of you, I know some of you are here for other people, please share widely. We want to make sure everybody gets a chance to find out about this and apply. So please share all the information. Thank you for joining. And Nina, thanks. Preeti, thanks. Madeline, thanks. Really happy to see you all here. We look forward to seeing your applications.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.